welcome to the Spare Parts Racing Podcast, your podcast for all things motorsports. With your hosts, Sean Chavarella, Stephen Clary, and Taylor Moore.
Hear that music?
Hello and welcome to another week's episode of Spare Parts. I'm your host, Sean.
I'm Steven.
And I'm Taylor.
Good job, everyone. We got through this clearly this time. No issues. So, friends, this week we have a amazing Brazilian Grand Prix to talk about. The finale for the Nascar season to talk about, and a new champion there. And whatever else we feel like we want to talk about. There's something that I want to talk about involving IndyCar and video games, but we'll get there eventually. So yeah, without further ado, Taylor, I want to ask Taylor. Taylor, how did Ferrari do this weekend?
I don't want to talk about it. It's another Grand Prix I don't want to talk about as a Ferrari fan.
See, this is the thing. We do a podcast where we talk about racing.
I know.
So...
It is just pain. It is pain. Ferrari.
I'm wearing my
pain.
I'm wearing my McLaren sweater. Sean's got his Aston Martin stuff. You
Yeah,
could have at
because
least
you were on
worn.
the podium.
You could have at least worn a clown nose or put some face paint on. Something like that. I don't know.
Okay. Well, Leclerc's just unlucky. Okay.
Honestly, yeah. Did you see the shit of him like being like he used to go to God or something? Like, woof.
Yeah.
What sins did he commit in his past life that got him to this point?
Believing that Ferrari could be a good team for him. I don't know.
It's like that red button game where you hit the red button, you drive for your favorite team, but you can never do well.
If you really look at all the shit that's gone on in Leclerc's life, he is one seriously unlucky motherfucker.
Yeah.
So again,
And
what little red button did he hit? I want to know the verbiage on it.
But also, like, if you think about him growing up, he did very well when there was bad stuff happening to him. So maybe all the bad stuff is just now going to make him do better.
I mean, I love that, and I want that to be the case. I want him to do well. I mean, if anything, to like preserve the stability of his mental health before he like yeets himself off a cliff or something like that, because it's just horrible. But I don't know. I did see something today that made me laugh. Where it was saying like Ferrari is entering contract negotiations with Leclerc, and like to secure his services for the next I don't know how many years. And there's just a photo of him like waving. And it's like, this is where the negotiations are right now.
Nice.
Bye.
Though I don't know if there's any other place you'd rather go.
I don't think so either. But like,
Okay.
because like, where would he go? Like,
Yeah.
he's not going to jump ship to Red Bull, right?
No,
like
and
Red Bull's.
Just in case anyone that didn't see this weekend, Leclerc DNF'd. I guess DNS'd. He didn't even make it to the to the grid. He wrecked in the formation lap, which is amazing. Peak Ferrari.
What was the stat? What was the obscure stat they put out? I think F1 put it out, but he's like the first driver in a while to have a season where he DNFs, DNSs, and DQs from a race.
I think it was all from pole position. He DNF'd, DQ'd, and DNS'd. It's like,
you know what? That's what it was. He's the first driver to do it all from pole. He's the first driver, I think, since like Checo to do all three in a season.
No, because he wasn't on pole this weekend. Maybe it's from the front row.
Or
Maybe from front row, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That would make sense.
Or just first person to DNS, DNQ, and DNF. Like, that's hilarious in itself. Like, I feel like if he is going to sign with Ferrari, a clause has to be in the contract that you must sacrifice like a live goat over his car before every single event, just to make sure there's no curses, because there is some kind of blood magic going on at Ferrari.
Or just go and sage it, like freaking sage that whole car. I don't know what kind of like stuff is going on in the Ferrari garage, but like something's going on and it ain't working.
I know the issue.
What?
Enzo Ferrari himself has cursed the team.
There you go.
It's
you
just
know-
the ghost of Enzo
No.
Ferrari.
They've moved away from the proper scarlet red Ferrari, and now they have that disgusting red matte finish on all the cars, and that is why they do not do well, because they are not the correct Ferrari red.
Can you imagine if next season they go back to the correct Ferrari red and they freaking do amazing? Could you imagine? Oh my gosh, what if it actually is Enzo Ferrari? What if he is coming back and he's like messing with the car?
I mean, I would mess with it too if you changed my look, you know?
Yeah. I feel like if I was a ghost, if I had that opportunity in the afterlife, I think I'd do that.
Ooh, that'd be a fun one. What team would you haunt in motorsports for the worst?
Red Bull.
Ooh, that'd be a good
Red
one.
Bull, 100%. Just to, well, I mean, Christian Horner won't outlive me, but who knows? But
That could be arranged.
it would be hilarious. Okay. No thanks.
Just offer.
but-
Just offer.
Yeah, okay, anyway. That would be hilarious.
But yeah, so
Or Mercedes. Either or.
I think they'll be different in a few years anyway. Once Lewis leaves, they'll have a different vibe. But yeah, I like how we killed like first few minutes just talking about Ferrari not even making it to the grid. Sainz had a decent race at least. You know, he finished 6th.
It's good. That's points.
They didn't have a brutal weekend.
Considering the performance of the cars that finished in front of them, it's not really a surprise,
Yeah.
right?
I mean, yeah, because if you think about it, Red Bull, you're expected to be ahead of them. McLaren's come on strong, and all of a sudden they're the number 2 car. The
Yep,
shocker of the weekend is Aston Martin.
Yes.
Being confident again.
They figured something out.
Yep.
They did. And what a finish it was. 10 out of 10.
The Alonso Perez fight.
Yes, that
So
was
I
good.
I think Max won by 30 seconds or something, so like it wasn't a great finish in that end, but
8 seconds.
I mean, compared to Alonso Perez, it was 30.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, but the thing is, though, is I think we're all at the point in that season now where we just really don't care about who actually wins the race because we figure it's going to be Verstappen. If it's not, and it's actually a good like fight for who wins the race, yay, bonus. But everything beyond that is what's interesting to watch. So I would say that this particular fight on track made the Brazilian Grand Prix, I think, one of the better races I've watched this season.
I mean, in terms of on-track activity, it was good all around. From the Alonso Perez battle to the first half, Norris kept up with Verstappen and actually put some pressure on him for a bit. You had the Mercedes kind of dueling, so it was like Mercedes versus Aston, and then it was Ferrari versus Mercedes, and then you had
Mercedes
Sainz.
versus Mercedes.
Yep. Sainz Stroll, kind of like, is he going to catch him? What's going to happen there? Like, you really did have up and down battles across most of the grid. Biggest letdown of the race, I think, was the fact that Ricciardo and Piastri were a lap down after the first lap incident, which is unfortunate for them because they actually had decent pace once their cars were fixed. But
Yeah.
And not only that, though, like, this was a major race of attrition, I guess. Like, not only you had, okay, before the end of the second corner, you had 3 cars out of this race in 2 different incidents. Actually, before you even got to the first corner, basically, you had, what, Albon and Magnussen took each other out, which, had they not red flagged that, also would have killed Piastri and Ricciardo, so they benefited from that red flag.
Yep, Piastri, the McLaren was basically already saying retire the car, and then they're like, red flag? Oh, well, let's give it a shot, see what happens.
14th is not bad.
Yep.
From
Finishing the race, you take it.
From DNFing to being like, okay, not bad. And like to see that Lando gets second, okay. But Piastri went from probably being last to all of a sudden a good race and you get good data out of your car.
Mm-hmm.
And good experience for Piastri too.
Yep.
So really, McLaren comes out of this weekend really good.
Yeah, as long as you're not doing any damage to the engine or power unit or anything important, yeah, take what you can.
Again, guys who had worse weekends than Ferrari, I would still say Alfa Romeo would be up there.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. That was not a good weekend for them. Insanely disappointing for both of their cars to DNF.
Yeah, they were just not there, really.
No.
I don't remember seeing them and then seeing like, oh, they retired. Oh, okay. Cool. And then you had Mercedes, who, again, rough weekend, struggled with pace, team fighting maybe?
Lack of teamwork is what we can chalk it up to. Not necessarily fighting, but not helping each other.
Okay,
that's for damn sure.
Is it lack of teamwork, or is it also just George bitching?
I would say it's George bitching, to be honest with you. Because George just does a lot of bitching.
He does.
Like, so much. It's actually worse than any, like, it's at a worse level than any of the bitching that Hamilton ever did.
Yeah. And like, he only ever bitches about his teammate, it seems.
Mm-hmm.
Yes! He always bitches about the fact that he's faster than Hamilton, and he's not being put out in front.
Stats would dictate that was a lie.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And sometimes, at least when Hamilton came on and he was bitching about tires, you could say, well, you know what, it might have been a strategy ploy of we're going to make people think our tires are dead, because he would do that and then pull out a purple lap.
Like back in the day?
Like, yeah. Yeah.
Oh no, tires are gone.
Tires are gone.
Purple. I don't believe you.
New fastest lap. Okay. Guess the tires aren't dead. So, but yeah, George is, he's getting on my nerves a lot.
Yeah, like I can't take him seriously with all the bitching. Really can't.
Yeah. Yeah, every time it comes on like the screen that we're like gonna listen to a Russell radio, I'm like, oh my god, like what now?
You gotta have the quick fingers to hit that mute button.
And it's always when he's following Hamilton. That's always why.
Always.
That's it.
Always.
Yeah, so either George is just a giant whiny bitch, or Netflix has somehow gotten into the director's room and is trying to just manufacture more drama. But I'm going to lean to the...
No, it's the F1 script, right? Everything's scripted.
Yes, exactly.
Oh my gosh.
No, but it's the Netflix director that's running it.
Oh, yes.
Because they're presenting it, and then also missing all the battles. That also pissed me off a little bit at the end. I know we have to get the finish of the race, but in the middle of the last lap battle between Alonso and Perez cutting to Max, I was like, what the fuck are you doing? You have on-track action.
Why can't F1
do picture-in-picture? They can.
But
They've proven they can.
But they
But they don't.
Like if you have an exciting battle, just put it up.
Yep.
Like, I don't understand why that's difficult to do.
Yeah, Max has won by 10 seconds. Again, we've seen this 16 times this year.
Yeah, Max gets the flag. What to do? Let's keep focusing on this shit, because this is...
Yeah.
Like, I don't understand why every other motorsports can do that.
Yep.
But F1
No,
just
but again,
seemingly...
But like,
F1 has proven that they can actually do it.
but they don't want to, which is stupid. Like, IMSA does it.
Yeah.
NASCAR does it. IndyCar does it. I'm sure WEC does it. I just don't watch enough WEC to really do it. But, like, F1's just like, nah, full screen. 5 seconds, full show. We'll miss a few corners. It's fine. It's infuriating. Because, yeah, that battle at the end was absolutely fantastic.
Oh, it was amazing. It was amazing.
Like,
What
were your thoughts watching it, honestly? What was going through everyone's mind in the moment?
Finally something exciting.
That's fair. Mine was, fuck, Alonso lost the podium.
Yeah.
I'm not worried about that. To be honest, I wasn't worried that Alonso wasn't gonna get it. I figured he had something left in him, because he's just been around for so long, and I'm sure he had it all planned out. But yeah, I don't know. I think it was just focused on how exciting it was to actually see something like fun.
Again, it's the back and forth nature of it. It's the he gets by, and then Alonso gets by. That's the fun thing about battles in F1, is when you get an actual, or in motorsports in general, when one guy can get by, next guy gets him back the next lap. Like, that's the remember last year, like when it was last year, right? The 2022 was the first year with the new regs, right? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And you had the very first race, and it was Max. Max, Leclerc, and they kept passing each other like every other lap.
For the first three
Yeah.
races, yeah.
Oh, and it was just absolutely fantastic. Everyone's like, "Wow, this is amazing!" And now that went away. But in this final 2 laps, you had that for a minute, where Perez gets by, and Alonso was there just to get by him. And Alonso's driving the last lap was also fantastic and really shows that.
Yeah.
Well, not
He
even
is
just
great.
the last lap. His defense in the 5-10 laps before that,
Yeah.
up to that point, was amazing. And at the end, it was sort of like, well, as good as the Aston has looked this weekend, it's still a Red Bull that's getting past him, so you can't really blame him. But that's also the great part about this track, where you can do that switchback out of the S's of 1, 2, and 3, because you get that by the time you get that switch done, or the original pass done, you get that detection zone and get the DRS right away, so you're still on top of the person. That other driver doesn't get a DRS zone to then enhance their lead.
True.
Like some other tracks.
Yeah, and like it's one of those things. Like even listening to the commentary, I think during the practice sessions or was it sprint race, I think it was Goldtard was saying that this track is also very different than a lot of other tracks where you can take different racing lines. There isn't a set 100% racing line through it. You have, variable corners where it's not just a 90-degree where it's in, out. You can take different lines, have your car set up for different ways to run the track. And I think you saw that at the end where if you actually watch like the onboards of where Alonso placed his car versus where Perez did, they're not in the same section of track. Yeah. They are taking different lines. They are finding different grooves, and it just shows that like the F1 bullshit tracks do not allow for this kind of racing. Let's call it what it is. Like the modern F1 tracks is it's parking lot tracks with extra steps. We're gonna make shit flat. We're gonna make it have a bunch of 90-degree turns. Looking at you, Vegas.
Ugh.
Fucking spider pig looking motherfuckers. But yeah, like this classic track at Interlagos is probably a top 5 F1 track. Just because of the elevation, the different types of corners you get there, everything about Interlagos makes it, I think, people's favorites. And this race put on a show. At least the main race did. I can't say the same with the sprint.
Yeah, the sprint was the most entertaining part about that was the what's it called? The Ocon Alonso clash at the end, which was hilarious.
Where Ocon blamed Alonso.
No, that was the qualifying.
Was that qualifying?
That was sprint qualifying, where Alonso, because
Oh.
Alonso was going slow. Ocon lost on the curb, hit him, but they both got the car fixed for the sprint race.
Gotcha.
Okay.
But
Gotcha.
Too many of these fucking things.
Again, this is stupid. So I typically don't pay attention to the sprint stuff because I just don't see. I really don't see the necessity for them, and like, there's just no draw. To me, it just looks like risk. That's all it looks like is risk for the actual race on Sunday that matters.
yeah, no, I agree. Like I don't see any real benefit that sprint races have given to F1. Like, you have an extra race, you have less practice, less track time, but you get an extra race, and what do you get out of it?
Yeah. Again, when it came in, okay, cool, glad they're trying something. It's overstated its welcome at this point.
And then there's talks of doing like reverse grid races, sprint races, and it's like, okay, how much makeup can you put on this pig? Like, really, like, you're at the lipstick part. Now we're putting some eyeliner on there. What's next? Like, I don't understand what they're gonna do with this, and because they keep trying, they keep talking about having new formats, changing it up. I don't know. What do y'all think that they should do?
Get rid of it.
But they're not
Simple
gonna.
as that.
I agree. Get rid of it.
You're asking what we would do not asking us to be in F1's shoes, because if we were in F1 shoes, it's
You are in F1 shoes, and you're paid now to make the sprint race work. How?
Make the sprint race work?
Honestly, yeah, the reverse grid is the way to go. I think get rid of the sprint shootout, add in FP2, just to go reverse grid. At least give your back markers chances at a couple points, maybe.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I can't think of anything else that could actually make them interesting or make them good.
Okay. And now here's where I have my
Oh
idea.
boy. Okay, hold on.
Which is how the sprint racing.
Strap yourselves in, because this sounds a little nutty.
It will sound nutty.
Okay.
Hear me out. This is how you make sprint racing work. One, you gotta make people give a shit about it.
Okay. Yes.
So,
Step one.
So make it something different. Reverse grids, set up, bam, perfect. You're gonna have some guys at certain positions, some guys at others. Okay. Now, to make it really fun, your sprint race format is not like there is no points scored for it.
Okay.
Drivers get money.
Yep. Money is the...
You make it a cash prize, but here's the kicker. What position you are in after every single lap is how much money you get. Because it's reverse grid. It's a reverse grid.
Every single lap?
So it's like, say it's like a 20 lap sprint. And
$100 a lap.
Yeah, $100 a lap or $1,000 or something like that.
Yeah, 1,000.
Okay.
Yeah,
That would be interesting.
10,000, something like that. Maybe 10,000. Or 10,000 for the total purse, and or 20,000 total purse. $1,000 a lap. And depending on what position you're in is what money you get.
Okay.
And at the end of it, the winner gets a nice big check.
At the end of the season or end of the race?
End of every sprint race. No stupid, crappy podium celebration. You get up there and you can it's whoever earns the most money in the sprint. Because that would get people interested. You would help younger drivers who are maybe paid drivers who don't get a whole lot of airtime because maybe they're at a back marker like a Williams. Imagine seeing Logan Sargent in the front just trying to I'm just trying to get as much money as I can to stay in the seat for next year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's kind of how you gotta do it. Make it something completely different and pay him out for it. And if you really want to get crazy, F1 drivers don't actually have to do it. Just the teams do. You could have a specific sprint driver. Imagine your third reserve driver took part in the sprint.
Be interesting.
Again, have fun with it. Stop trying to make it a mini race. The Grand Prix is a Grand Prix. It's not a sprint. So if you're going to do something with it, do something fun with it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, honestly, the way that you set it up made it sound like it was going to be a lot more nutty than it actually was. I think that would be insanely fun.
It'd be nutty to try to keep track of who's getting what money and stuff like that, but and maybe you can have a bonus for who has the most overtakes or who gains the most positions or the fastest lap gets a bonus. You could throw other additional things in there in the sprint. And you can either do reverse grid based off championship standings or reverse grid based off money earned.
Nah, just do reverse standings every time.
Probably the best way to do it. And then you implement that into your race weekend where you can have your 3, or you have a practice, maybe 2 practices, practice, then qualify, and then sprint, and then race. I don't think this is a terrible way to do it.
No.
Not at all.
When the fact that we keep talking about sprints, Sean, I think you're the one that sent it to me, was that one race. I can't remember which one it was. The video where to start the race they actually sprinted to the cars.
Yes, it was a.
That's all I can think about now.
Was it
It was in New Zealand.
Yeah,
I think it was a New Zealand.
Highlands. Someone showed. It might have been Peter. I think he showed that to me on the weekend. And it was like this crazy race to their actual, and like
they had like a 200-meter, and they had like tagged the back of the car before it went.
Yeah, they have to rip something off the car, and then their teammate goes.
Yeah,
that's
but like
that's dope. That'd be fun.
You just file out in like what is it, in pit speed limit, but you still get to go. I thought that way of doing it was genius. So anyway, so to describe the video for anyone that has no idea what the fuck we're talking about. It's a race. You start off with all the cars lined up against basically the pits, like facing outwards to the pit lane. Then you have all of the second drivers. So all the drivers are in the main car. The second drivers, because it's an endurance race, go to like, I don't know, 200 meters away down like a road. Mm-hmm. They fire the gun. All of these second drivers just go sprinting down, and you have to get to your car, pull off like a little tag off the back of it, and then they can go. My favorite part of that was like, I think there was like a fat guy in the back, just like, I'm not even going to try to run. He's just like, I'll get there when I get there.
It's like, I didn't sign up for this track and field portion of this race.
But yeah, that is a genius way to have like a Le Mans style start, but keep it safe.
Yeah.
Because that's the issue with Le Mans style, right? Is people would get smushed, run over, not get their belts done up.
Yeah.
Though karting Le Mans style starts are fun.
Yes.
Oh, imagine that though. Okay, so sprint races now become 10 cars.
Oh my god.
And you have the other driver has to now sprint to start it.
That
it's a sprint race.
It's a sprint race.
And to end, it has to be the end of Talladega Nights, where you run the rest of the way, like the last 100 meters.
No.
Relay style.
No. The driver has to then, after you get out of your car, you tag the driver. He has to do a lap of the track. Okay. Running.
Yeah.
Yeah. The final lap of Spa in that sprint race takes 2 hours. They're trying to going up the hill.
Yeah, I'm gonna.
Can you imagine the elevation changes? There's like.
We're gonna have to go find. What was it? Luke Smith, I think, did every single track run this year. I'm gonna have to find what his times were for some of those longer tracks.
I imagine just the strategy in that too, where like obviously you would have Yuki do the driving part because his little legs. You couldn't have him. You can't have him do that sprint part. Also, I don't think he's the most fit guy. I think Bottas would definitely be Bottas would be the runner for sure for Alfa Romeo.
Oh, it'd be Stroll for Aston Martin. Fernando's not fucking running.
Yeah, he's at least fast. Like
oh, here you go. So,
yeah,
Mexico track run for Luke Smith, 4.2 kilometers, 23 minutes. So, you know what?
Okay,
it's not too bad.
Not bad.
2,000 meters of altitude. But that's also one of the shortest laps in the calendar. So,
is it?
Good luck. Apparently.
Damn. Well, anyway.
So, good luck.
Anyone have anything else to add for Brazil and sprint races and everything else F1?
Nope.
Good to see Lance Stroll come in fifth.
Honestly, yeah. That was good to see.
That was
he
good.
needed that.
Yeah. It's too bad the Aston Martins can't fucking start on time, apparently.
They just bogged down.
Yeah, neither of them got away well either time.
Could have been their gearbox setup. Didn't have a really good start, but good pace everywhere else,
Yeah.
Yeah, your rev range, not where it should be.
Yep.
But yeah, they did fine. Qualifying well, too. Stroll qualified third, out-qualified Alonso.
Yeah. So little help from Mother Nature there, because I think they got their laps done early, but that's the way she goes.
That's 2 weeks in a row you qualified Alonso. So again, if you have 2 races to go for F1, Stroll needed, I think, the last couple of weeks as like a little booster, and then this week was a big kick in the ass of just positive energy for the whole team.
Yeah.
And again, the Alonso getting Paris the line, the whole team going crazy, like
yeah,
that's what you want to carry into the off season.
And going from this car can't compete for a podium too. Oh, we got a podium.
That is so true. He did say they cannot compete for
For that
podium
last
anymore.
week.
Ooh, he's like, yeah, we're done for podiums. About that. Ooh.
Yeah,
I
well,
like a podium.
it's not.
Good to see Aston Martin has recovered a bit.
They podium
Yeah.
out. They podium out. It's just Alonso. Ooh, another podium. Ooh, another podium. Ooh, another podium.
Somehow beat McLaren.
Oh God, not you. Hang on,
What is the
what's
constructors at? Because that was a good week for both of them.
Mm-hmm.
Well, but it'll be really good for.
I think they gained 4 points on them.
It's a 1 point difference, or sorry, 21 point difference. I read that wrong.
You know what? That's
Not
still doable.
impossible, but it's a tough.
Well, Aston gained 25 this week.
But they're gonna need a McLaren DNF somewhere, and a low point scoring, or just no points scored, like double DNF. I think.
Well, I guess you can always just roll the dice in Vegas.
Oh, fuck yourself.
I'm sorry. I had to. I'll see myself out. Thank you. Bye.
Swear that's been like the 4th time you told that joke.
I'm not looking forward to that race, I'll be honest.
No,
No, it's
it's
at
going
1
to
a.m.
be a tire
At 1 a.m.
Fuck, it's 1
I'm
a.m.
not-
Oh, God,
No,
yeah.
I'm not fucking staying up for that shit. Like, no.
I'll watch in the morning.
Exactly. It's not going to be a good race.
No.
Best race.
Everybody
of the season,
hates it
none of us-
anyway. Like,
Best race of the
way-
season. None of us watch it live.
I'll watch it live now.
It's not going to be the best race of the
Fine.
season.
You can bear that cross like I stayed up for Japan last year,
That was your choice.
and that will be your choice to stay up for this one.
You can't have a rain delay in the fucking desert. Unless you're the 8 hours of Bahrain this week and they had rain in Bahrain.
Little do you know,
They had
they've
rain in
actually
Bahrain.
part of the reason they got rid of the fountains and everything is because they rerouted everything so that way there can be rain.
That wouldn't fucking surprise me at all. Fucking Bernie, what are you doing?
Just for
Where
the
is it?
showmanship.
Where is he?
Speaking, oh fuck, do we want to go into fucking Bernie showing up at the track this weekend and fucking? That's
I didn't watch the Sky. I watched F1
Oh.
TV. They had Hinch, so
that was fucking hilarious. Just walking
Can
to
we-
Bernie Ecclestone. You got in a little trouble there, Bernie, with the tax man. He's like, I'm just glad to be here and not in prison.
that
Freaking
is
Bernie looked
all-time
more-
great.
So
He just looked so surprised that he was like not in prison. I'm like, that should tell you something.
yeah,
What are you doing? Also, Martin
Oh.
Brundle, like,
I
every
think
time.
he knows what he's
interviews-
doing. He knows.
Oh, of course
Oh,
he
yeah.
does. Of course he does.
I think he's just doing it for the bit at this point.
yeah.
Is he just going for most cringeworthy interviewer to exist on the face of this planet ever? If so, then
I mean,
I will
the,
say,
got it.
the Machine Gun Kelly. What's that?
Ugh.
That's a poppy. Oh,
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, Martin Brundle was not the one that made that interview
Yeah.
horrible. It was
Yeah.
Machine Gun Kelly.
though, if we're gonna talk about this, we don't need to keep bringing up the celebs need to have a quiz. But I don't agree with that point. But if there was a week where I would, it would be this week, especially after Ted Kravitz was like, "Yeah, Machine Gun Kelly's leaving in the middle of the race right now." And this is a time where we shit on celebrities that are gonna do this shit.
let's not gatekeep
Don't-
the race.
Yes, but if you're gonna just fucking leave in the middle of it, why? Like, I know he performed beforehand, but why bother showing up then? Stay for the whole thing, or just fuck off completely.
Owners leave and shit like that all the time. People leave races early.
Yeah,
I
guess.
think what bothers me more is just like it's the pretentious attitude of like, I don't know, maybe it's just his persona, like it probably is, but it's just like it just was awful. Like the whole thing was just awful.
You can
And also the whole like what is that thing? I know that the US probably, I don't think they do poppies there,
not really.
but
no.
it just
Like you could make the argument that like the celebrities in F1 is just the glorification of F1 or like the trying to make it seem like it's more highbrow than it really is. And like F1's always tried to do that, right? All sports try to get celebrities in and make it seem better than it is. Like football. Huh.
Some do it well.
It's almost like there's been a whole thing about celebrities in football this year. Anyway.
Conspiracy theory.
So NASCAR.
Sure.
Who had Ryan Blaney winning the championship?
In our draft, or like, because I had money on it. Also, there's a ghost behind you.
Ghost.
No, it's just toothless.
Oh.
Hi, cat.
Okay, continue on.
Because I had money on it, so I won money, which I'm very happy about.
I also won
$40.
money.
It's fantastic, right?
I know. Thanks, Blaney.
In terms of the actual draft, Sean, you had him.
Oh, fine, cat, go away. Oh, would you look at that? I'm right. For once.
For once.
For once.
It's okay.
But-
We all know playoffs is
okay.
the one thing that matters. The regular season doesn't count at all. Playoffs is all that
Stupid.
matters, and honestly, the last race is what matters. And who last week said Blaney?
I think we both did, actually.
think
We
we both did.
because he is technically of the Final Four, the least deserving based on old style points.
Oh, it's exactly what
And-
you said.
And he always comes second or third here
Yes.
in this race.
And what did he come?
Oh.
Second again.
Second.
But it was enough.
He got lucky that Chastain wasn't in the playoffs.
Oh yeah. But
So
Blaney was faster than Chastain the entire time.
Yeah.
Like based on like, I think
Yeah,
it was, like the track data and stuff. Yeah, he was better.
they had the car set up really well for the long runs, and that I think is ultimately what got him the championship in the end. Because Larson was beating him on pit lane. That's not really a surprise.
That team
'cause
is
Hendrick's
so
really good.
clutch on pit lane though.
Yeah.
Like the
Yeah.
5 team is almost
Yeah.
guaranteed to gain spots.
Yeah,
That should be a
but
fun bet of how many average spots gained in pit lane.
Gains 20 spots on one and then just crashes out.
Yeah, that would be plus 20.
Yeah.
That'd be a
But
fantastic
anyways.
bet. Oh, should contact some bookies.
Yeah.
Get that going.
But anyways,
Oh my gosh.
Blaney won it on the long runs. Just didn't. It was a good battle, I think, with 20 to go, 15 to go, but you could just see him slowly scooting away, and there's no point in him challenging Chastain at the end.
Yeah, what are you gonna
Right.
risk?
Yeah, just draft off him.
Yeah, just be fast in the 5. That's all you need.
Yeah. Well, oh well. Congrats to you for choosing the right guy to win. Oh well, whatever. However, what I do find funny is Newgarden's tweet about the whole thing about him getting a face tattoo of Ryan Blaney if he won the championship. That's funny.
That is funny.
I really hope he does it. Can you imagine if he actually did it?
Yeah, that's pretty funny. Yeah. Can you imagine just rocks up to like St. Pete with a Blaney face tattoo?
With a massive Blaney
that'd be
tattoo on his
hilarious.
thigh.
I think then Blaney I think he at least has to return the favor because Newgarden's won at least 2 championships. So
Yeah.
Newgarden has 2, right? I'm not making that up.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Ronaldo disagreeing with me. We actually know this. Fuck.
To be trusting y'all on your
I know. Listen,
IndyCar knowledge of the past 10 years.
I gaslight myself into not knowing things. Okay,
Exactly.
Oh, Sean.
it's okay. Did anyone also catch the Xfinity race and that finale?
No.
Cole,
No,
Cole
the
Custer
only-
won that one.
Also,
Is that the guy? Okay, Cole Custer. Is he the one that got screwed by his teammate, or was he the screwer of said teammate?
Neither of that, but I have something to go with that one. That was the Sheldon Creed and Austin Hill.
Oh, right. Okay.
But the guy who got in because of that was Justin Allgaier.
Okay.
And he came second in the championship.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Though Austin Hill had some spicy comments after the race of racing with Sheldon Creed and was like, oh, I could have wrecked him, but I just wanted to show him what racing with a teammate's like.
Ooh.
It's like, you should have wrecked him if you really wanted to be like that guy, wreck him. Fuck it.
Yeah.
Get it going.
Yeah, just whatever.
Start it for next year, get a rival, do it. But the whole to do nothing and to be like, I could have. Oh, just watch, I could have. Yeah, that's such a bitch move. It really is.
just wreck him.
Wrecked him. Barely knew him.
Oh my god.
No.
No.
That's a go-to. Anyway, anything else NASCAR related?
Well, who was it? So yeah, Larson wasn't too far back. Byron finishing fourth, and you got to feel bad for Chris Bell because his brakes just blew.
Happens, unfortunately, right?
Yep. Wrong time for it, but
Yes.
happens.
Could talk about how the, I guess the debate of is Blaney a worthy champion?
Oh, because this comes up every time with this format, yeah.
At the end of the year, end of the season standings.
Are you pulling up the Winston Cup standings?
Yeah.
Yes, I have that. William Byron should have won by 17 points over Denny Hamlin. Going by Winston Cup standings, yes. However, under the current format, Blaney is very deserving. 1, he did it in the race that mattered. 2, he won 2 of the last 3 races. So
True.
It's not like he just fluked into a random win after going like Martin Truex supernova blow up, but having a win to be in the final race. So, and he still would have he would have finished 7th and 200 points back in Winston Cup standings. So I don't think this is a pretty close, if you look at the Winston Cup standings, it's a pretty close leaderboard. You got Byron in the 1 spot, Hamlin 17 points back, Buescher 33 points back, Bell 42 points back, Truex 97 points back, even with how bad he's been.
And if you think also, if you would have gone to the Winston Cup standing type scoring format, you would have had a very tight Byron Hamlin fight this race, because Hamlin wouldn't have been out of it. Because a big thing also is no one wants to challenge the top 4.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
As much as they say they don't give any extra power to the top 4 in championship, but everyone races them different.
Yes.
You don't want to be the one that decides the championship.
Yes.
Could talk about the truck series, but I don't really want to go there.
Just know that it was actually, that's what we forgot to mention with Custer winning. All Fords won the
That's true.
championship.
Yes, it was a
So
Ford
good.
sweep.
Yep. But yeah, again, Byron, as we said last week, probably the most deserving guy, and we'll probably do a full NASCAR breakdown at some point in the next. Actually, we can probably do it next week because there's no racing next week.
True.
But Byron was the most deserving guy from overall season performance. You could sort of say the same about Larson. He, to a lesser extent, because he had a really strong start, but then sort of faded when Byron kept going.
Yeah.
But still, again, very equal as well. Hamlin, same thing, just didn't win and had 3 guys behind him in the group of 8 win, but also very deserving. But again, it's not like Blaney is so far back that he wasn't deserving of a championship. And until they change the format, you can't say anything else.
Yeah, no, I think it's fine. I'm okay with it. I also think that this year's been a good year of showing, I would say, Blaney's personality, making him a more likable driver, getting some of his old Vine, TikTok shit out there with him and Bubba. And it's a good champion.
What you're saying, the vibe of being the the mom lover isn't or the driver everyone's mom loves.
Anyway,
That
moving on
wasn't
from
the
that.
vibe.
Yes. I really have no idea what to touch with that, so I'm just not gonna.
Fine. Lame.
But you did mention the Fords, and I think we should also mention Ford and NASCAR, what they announced this week.
What was that?
Remember, they're moving away. They're changing the body of the.
Oh yes.
Ooh.
Yes, they're changing. They're changing away from the Mustang to the other Mustang. But yeah, what is it? Just pulling it up here because I can't remember the specific car it was going to be. Oh, it's the Dark Horse. The Mustang Dark Horse is what it is. And my God, the aero bullshittery on that car. I don't know if you've seen it. I'll see if I can pull it up and send it over to you. But it is ridiculous. The front of the car has like essentially 2 vortex generators off the hood.
Okay.
I'm just trying to say, I know I sent to Steven, but I don't know where.
Yeah, I found it. It's
Okay.
on Twitter.
Okay, send it over to Taylor. But yeah. Oh boy. I think it actually looks very good. I do like the look of it. It looks mean. The nose to me isn't as high up as like current NASCAR cars. It kind of still looks like it slopes down a little more. And there's talk of Chevy moving away from what the fuck is the Chevy now? The Camaro?
Oh.
Yeah, Camaro.
Yeah. I saw someone suggest it should become a Cadillac for GM, which would be fun.
Front of this car looks insane.
Yes, it does. But like, it's because of all the changes happening in like the auto industry, right? Like, there's not a whole lot of sedans and sports cars to pick from because manufacturers are kind of cutting them.
Ford doesn't really even carry cars, to be honest.
No, they don't. I think they
Trucks.
just have the Mustang.
Yeah,
It's
and
trucks and crossovers.
even what is it? The E-Mach,
The Mach-E.
which is it? Mach-E, whatever bullshit is. It's an SUV.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, the
So
Ford Mustang. I hate that car so much.
I hate that car.
You ever see the photo where it's like it has like a Mach-E, like an old like 4th gen Mustang, and a classic 1st gen Mustang? It's like, huh? All these guys can say they drive a Mustang.
Yeah.
And
Yep.
they all look completely different.
Yep.
But yeah. Anyway, before we wrap up, I have some more depressing news to talk about.
Yay.
Motorsports games and IndyCar, yay!
Oh boy.
These fucks
Okay.
Again.
Article came out basically saying they laid off the entire staff that's been working on the IndyCar game.
No.
So okay, that's some bad news. And essentially, Motorsports game is shopping around who they can sell off
Okay.
the game to, for either them to continue developing it or just to have the rights to.
Yeah.
However, IndyCar is also due in the beginning of 2024 a payment, like a fee for for Motorsports games to pay IndyCar for using the
boy.
license. If Motorsports games cannot give up that payment to IndyCar, they lose the license, and IndyCar can then do whatever the fuck it wants with it. IndyCar is still stuck with this fucking ship still.
NASCAR was smart and just fucking bailed on them.
And just gave it to iRacing, which is genius.
Yeah.
'Cause, the British touring car game just got pulled. I think they sold that one to someone. So, man, I don't understand why Motorsports game is still fucking around. Like, not fucking around, but like how they were around. Like, what the fuck?
Mm-hmm.
Because they've been on life support for like 3 years.
Oof.
And at a certain point, someone just take this company out back and put 2 in the head. Because, like, your company is holding up all of the games in the motorsports world. Now, granted, the motorsports gaming community is actually really healthy right now compared to other sports. So, like, you have your sim racing, but you also have, like, Forza. You have your strategy games, like F1 Manager or Motorsport Manager. You have a lot of different, and then, like, you have, like, your Simcade stuff, like F1, the F1 series, or, like, the Dirt series, something like that. So there's a lot of variety in the motorsports genre, which is good for fans, but still, the big names and the big series that people want to have games, or even just like licenses, or play your favorite car or something, motorsports games needs to give it up.
Yeah, agreed.
So this might all be resolved in 2 months when they can't pay IndyCar and they lose the rights. But you then lose all the progress made on the IndyCar game.
Yeah.
And essentially, IndyCar is the only thing that's motorsports game is holding on to. So, we'll see what happens. I hope it goes to iRacing.
That would make
iRacing would
sense.
be good. Or iRacing or maybe R Factor. I'd prefer it. I think iRacing will be closer, though, because they already have
some tracks.
They already have the Dallara
chassis.
So it's not like it'd be... It's sort of like NASCAR. It wouldn't be too hard of an integration. It's more just personal stuff for
and
the
you also
drivers.
have 2 of your feeder series for IndyCar.
Yep.
Yeah.
Like, that's probably the easiest way to go. Like, I know Formula E is in R Factor 2. That's the only reason I even thought about it, but...
Okay.
Actually, no, because IndyCar did their virtual stuff on iRacing as well. Now that I think about it.
But isn't, what's the one? Is it Automobilista has IndyCar stuff in there, like old IndyCar stuff?
Maybe.
That's another one that's been up and coming. I feel like a lot of companies are waiting for this to come available, and then we'll bid on it, because anyone seems capable of developing racing games right now, except motorsports games.
Except for the guys with the contract.
Yeah. They haven't released a game in like 3 years. Like, I'm just trying to think. The last thing motorsports game released, I want to say, was like a NASCAR game in like 2020.
What was it, like Heat?
I think so. Oh, NASCAR, I think Ignition was the last one they released. They've done like NASCAR Rivals, and like R Factor 2, funny enough, is owned by Motorsports Games.
Oh, really?
So Steven, shut the fuck up about that one. So, that's interesting what's going on there. Now, would you rather see it go to iRacing, Codemasters, or say one of the other studios?
I don't know. EA.
Ooh, that's Codemasters, I think.
Yeah. I don't know. I just said EA so that way they can ruin it.
That's fair. Because
But
isn't
no, I
I
want iRacing.
I think the new Dirt game's EA.
Is it? No.
Or the new Rally one, whoever the heck it is. But yeah, it looks great.
I want it on I want IndyCar on iRacing, like, officially.
It's still there.
Yes, I know, but like, put it on iRacing, please.
That's fair. I would like something, any kind of IndyCar game where you can have like a road to Indy. Start in USF 2000, go to the big cars. That'd be the
Also, then maybe Codemasters does want something then, because NXT would be an easy translation from F2.
I don't know.
In terms of like story development and everything, you have everything there.
I guess maybe. But a fun thing also could be you could actually have IndyCar. Imagine having a Motorsport Manager game with actual IndyCar license in that. Like you have an F1 Manager, but it's IndyCar.
That'd be interesting.
That would be.
because the second motorsports game loses the IndyCar license, because the issue isn't IndyCar with the company, it's that they have exclusivity rights. They are the only company that can develop a game. So the solution is get rid of the exclusivity and give it out to more people.
Yep. May the best man win.
Now
the best developer win.
This is IndyCar we're talking about. So how do you think this is going to end up?
Flaming dumpster fire.
I think somewhere along that lines is probably correct. And on that cheery note, anyone have anything else for this week? Okay.
Why not end on that fun
Exactly.
note?
Well, at least next week we can talk Vegas and everything else, and hopefully more stuff happens. We'll see. So, until next week, thank you very much for listening. Thank you. And
Thank you for tuning in to the Spare Parts Racing Podcast. Remember to subscribe so you don't miss an episode, and follow the show on Twitter at Spare Parts Racing. That's Spare Parts RACIN, and on TikTok at Spare Parts Pod. Follow the hosts at Sean Chavarella, at Stephen Clary, and at Tay Moore.